Oh, yeah, I got the countdown. Hey, welcome to the Gigi Factor, man. This feels so good on this Tuesday night. Boy, we got so much going on in the world today. And I just want to tell you, man, I just want to be the one to share some with you tonight because, woo, there is a lot going on around us. And I'm full, man. I don't know about you out there in America tonight, around the world tonight, but I am full. This is the Gigi Factor, the Gregory Griffith perspective tonight. My guest that was going to be with me, unfortunately, had a passing away in his family. My condolences go out to my man Myron, to his family. He had to see his aunt go on to heaven. So he'll be with us next week on Tuesday night. Myron Edmonds, the Empowerment Male Factor out of New York City. And I'm looking forward to that. But tonight, once again, like I said, you got the Gigi Factor, man. I'm here to tell you about what's going on around us, how to inform you about how to respond to it, how to empower you, how to educate you, and make sure that you understand at the end of the day that it's all a matter of choice. How do you respond to it? And just like I do on every Tuesday night, when I stop the music, it makes it official to say hello to everyone out there. Boy, there's so much going on in America tonight. I don't even know where to begin. But what I am going to start with is obviously there are two situations going on with us regarding our politics that are critically worthy of attention tonight. And that very first one, very first one would be the release of our hostages. We've got them to come home, 20 hostages. And Israel released 2,000 back to Gaza. And I'm telling you tonight that, man, I did a little reel on my social media the other day, and I was wearing a shirt that just said, simply peace. Good vibrations and peace around the world. Nobody can ever explain or tell me, and I'm just going to put it out there tonight, that why so many innocent people killed for the sake of power? They say that 92% of Gaza is gone, destroyed, flattened out, 92% of it. And listen to this tonight, and it'll be very well informed to you. They're saying this. I forgot to tell you guys that I'm live. Sorry about that. Can inform you. Here's what I want to tell you tonight that's really, really deep about all of this. 92% of the Gaza environment is gone, wiped out, demolished because of war. 2 years of just senseless war, if you ask me about it, because it's all about power. 2 years ago, people were just enjoying themselves at a concert, thinking they'd just go out and have a nice, probably Sunday afternoon like anyone else, or Saturday. I don't know what day of the week it was there in Israel, but it was a tragic situation. No one would have ever told me that it would have gone on for us over 730 days. But oh boy, I've got to give it to 47. He pulled it off. Speaking of our president administration, Donald J. Trump, he pulled it off. They pulled it off. Whoever pulled it off, I'm just grateful that it stopped, that it came to cease. And I'm hoping that as we proceed into this, that it'll be favorable from a global perspective, because right now, things are so fragile, man. It's so scary that at the end of the day, you ask yourself, can we get past this in a manner that won't be such a domino effect of all the things that happen after war? See, a lot of people make a lot of money during war. A lot of things are bought, purchased, people doing all kinds of things that we don't see that are financially hidden obscurities. But the one thing that happened, 92% of Gaza was demolished. And guess what? All of the nations came together, met with Donald Trump, and they are now deciding that it's going to take $20 billion to rebuild Gaza. I don't know how much more it's going to go for what damages were done in Israel, but just the thought of that is just scary. That's a lot of money, man. I want to sip my tea and get you to wrap your head around that tonight. $20 billion to rebuild something from what I just always say is just senseless. I've never understood it, just like I've never understood for all how people can be this way and do it in the name of their religion. That's scary. That's not the God I know. Not violence, not evil that way. Even when you think about 9/11 and the way that went down, and how many thousands of people were just killed maliciously, and Osama bin Laden, whatever his name is, I don't care. He's trying to say that was all because of their religion. And you know something, man? That's why I say to people every single Tuesday night, whether you might have a guest or not, that you have to be prayed up. You have to be in a place within yourself where you don't have to worry about something like that infiltrating your cognitive abilities to differentiate. You should truly have spiritual discernment in your life. And tonight, that's why I opened the show about this, because the impact the entire world is feeling from this. I think his name is Eli Sharabi. Can you imagine this? He's one of the freed hostages. He comes home excited, just a free man, but much to his despair, I have to lean in about this. This man comes home, his 2 daughters and his wife have been murdered. And you can't even begin to imagine what someone who's already been a hostage, the freedom taken away, treated like an animal for 2 years, you come home to find out that your family has been a circumstance, a victim of the same circumstance. They're gone. His brother also gone. It's scary, man. It's a very, very scary thing. So tonight, my condolences to everyone, man, who lost someone. My prayers to all those families. When I saw them all uniting, it teared me up. It took something out of me, man. And I kept saying to myself, why, man? This is just a vicious, vicious lie. Why? To our president of the United States, whatever he did, however he done it, man, let me tell you something. I'm happy that it's over. Thank you, Donald Trump. And I can only say that as we move forward, that there'll be solutions. There'll be some strategic way to bring an end to this. This guy, Eli Sharabi, wrote a book about he just called it Hostage. And there's a picture of him on the front cover. And he's speaking so much and so deeply about, I guess, the traumatic experience of being a hostage for 2 years of his life and what he experienced, what it felt like for him to come home and his entire family is gone and his own brother because of this senseless, stupid war. And I can only continue to pray that some kind of way we'll find answers to this, what's really, 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 really going on. Israel released 2,000 people back to Gaza. 2,000. Kind of ironic because they say that's around the same amount of people that were killed, by Hamas. So you got to stop sometimes, man. Try to put things in perspective, understand why is it happening, what's going on, what's the rationale behind it. And the next thing I want to shift to right now and put a perspective on it is, well, last week this time, we have been about 5 or 6 days into the shutdown. Now we're 13 days into this federal government shutdown. Last week I talked about it a little bit because I thought by this time, a week later, it would be history. I really thought that this thing would be over. Somebody playing a game, man, and you know who's losing? Innocent people like you and I. 750,000 people furloughed. 750,000 people without jobs. That's scary. That's very scary. And it makes me feel so uncomfortable about the way things are being maneuvered right now. I keep saying there's so many hidden obscurities. What's the private agenda here? Why could we not avoid this? Every time we have this ridiculous shutdown, I'm asking myself the question, we got legislative, executive, judicial, got the Congress, got the House of Representatives, got the president, the vice president, got all these super intelligent people in the legislative branch, in the executive branch, in the judicial branch. And all of a sudden, you can't come to an understanding and you know it's going to impact everyday people. Come on, America, somebody, once again, a hidden obscurity. I don't understand it. That's the scary part about our government. They got too much power. Way too much power. And especially when it seems like one person can just just micromanage the situation and nobody else can seem to do nothing. I always think about January 6th when I'm talking about things like this, because from that the president administration would furlough 1,400 people who were definitely, unequivocally, no doubt about it, quantifiably guilty, and he furloughed them. He's our president, though. Scary. I don't know, man. I'm just trying to keep some I don't know, some sort of perspective on this. I'm trying to shift my paradigm. I'm trying to wrap my arms around why are we in such a quagmire like this? Why are we living in such a situation where the complexities of this is just scary to me? And Whoopi Goldberg said today, I was looking a little bit at the View, and she said, "Man, I understand what Trump done, and it's great, and I'm so happy about it. But look here, man, we got some, what going on right here on our own turf, and somebody needs to be addressing it in a more respectful manner." I'm a retired special needs teacher, 31 years as a high school special needs teacher. I have a master's degree in exceptional student education, ESE. They shut down special education funding. They shut down and sent all the staff home. The entire department is shut down. You're talking about special needs kids who you have to micromanage, special needs kids who have to have some structure around what's going on with them for assistance, because they can't take care of themselves. And that's what we pay money for as consumers. That's why we pay our taxes. I just did my taxes, and whoa, I'm trying to tell you, boy, we paying the government a lot of money, and all of a sudden they just gonna turn around and muscle us like this. These special needs kids ain't done nothing to nobody. I don't get it. Remember, it's only the Greg Griffith perspective, but I'm trying to tell you, we need to try to quantify, because a lot of this stuff seems to be a bunch of BS and a lie. You're going to justify to me that you just shut down a pertinent, necessary, non-negotiable part of our services from a federal perspective? You just shut them down, and then you're saying you're going to turn it over to Health and Human Services? You're gonna merge that into Health and Human Services, special needs education. Come on, apples and oranges. See, I'm telling you something, man. They are giving a lot of props to Donald Trump right now, and God bless him, because I really, really want to say, man, he did a great job. But let's get back to the reality of what's going on the home turf. What's going on the home turf? What's going down like this? Why is it happening like this? I just don't understand it. There shouldn't be no such thing as a shutdown. I talked about checks and balances last week. I meant to bring down my own little Constitution book and go in and read a little bit more about it. I'm not the top dog on this, but one thing I'll tell you is that I know checks and balances mean that if we got a problem with the legislative, the executive is supposed to check and balance them. If we got something going on with the judicial, then, the executive is supposed to check on them. Now, sound to me like we got some problems in the legislative branch. Now, these two guys, man, I don't know what's going on with them. I really don't know what's going on with Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. I don't know what's going on with Hakeem Jeffries. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why is it so deep to the point that they can't just, somebody can just stop the madness. Hakeem is saying that Mike Johnson and the boys won't give up nothing. They won't even keep people just basically with the medical kind of coverages they got with Obamacare. And the Republicans are saying we don't want to do that. But you don't supposed to say you don't want to do that. That's somebody's health care. Suppose somebody done that to you, Mike Johnson. Suppose somebody just pull the plug on you. Just pull the plug on you. Suppose your 2 weeks was done and you didn't get a check. Suppose you got sick and went to the hospital. They say, oh, no, we just cut that program out, Mike Johnson. Come on, man. It just makes no sense. It just makes no sense. Not in America. I'm all about 15 minutes into this, and I'm boiling. I'm so damn pissed off that I don't know how to explain myself right now. I do not understand it. It's critically a very serious matter in this country right now. So one thing that Hakeem Jeffries said today, he said, you know what? We see the furlough that's going on with the shutdown. We see everything that's going down, but it's just not the beginning. From day one, when Trump came in, he went on a rampage, just signing all kind of executive orders. He wanted to make sure he could be the big dog and have as many of those, more than anyone else did. And he did it. He signed more executive orders in the few months that he was there than any other predecessor as president. He did it. So, okay, now the ramifications of that action leave all of us feeling like, okay, what's up, man? Why would you just want to take jobs from people who truly, truly, unequivocally, absolutely need them? Last week, they had airplanes coming in and the people traffic control, air traffic controllers, some of them were furloughed. This is scary. I do not understand it. And why can't we put all politics aside some kind of way? It should never, ever be allowed in this country a shutdown. That just shouldn't be. They're supposed to be well-educated, well-informed people up there in the big house. And then I heard as soon as the shutdowns happen, they all go on vacations. They go away from the house. They just decide to take off, man. I don't get it. It's very strange. I mentioned to you earlier that my guest was out tonight because of death in his family, and my condolences go out to him. When that happens to me, I'm going to keep the show going no matter what. And I say tonight, well, you know, between that war, between the peace, between the government shutdown, I can sit here and go on and on and on about this, but I'm not. I'm going to say this, that I really, truly, sincerely hope, and I think Bernie Sanders and I forgot the other representative name. Boy, I can't call the lady's name. Forgive me, man. She got one of those real deep names that you can't pronounce too good. But the point I'm trying to make is they're going to be on CNN tomorrow night, and they're going to be giving you all the quantifiable reasons why there shouldn't be no reason for us to do anything but get real, man. Get real. People need their jobs. People got car notes. They got mortgages. They got rent to pay. They got insurance they got to cover. They got to put food on the table. The lights need to stay on. Come on, somebody. What's going on with this? It's just kind of scary to me. It's very, very, very scary. You're talking about cutting out into Social Security, cutting into Medicare. All these old elderly people who they didn't do nothing to nobody. And you know something, just like those people, when you looked at Gaza and saw 92% of it, and almost all of those war casualties were just civilians. Now we're political casualties here on this side of the domestic world called US of A. We're political casualties. Somebody's pushing the muscle on us, man. They're pushing it hard. They're pushing it hard. That's all I can say. They're pushing the muscle real, real, real hard. And one thing I'll say to you is this. You gotta say to yourself, okay, is there a solution to this? We've given 47 2 rounds. I was talking to one of my neighbors the other day, and I'm gonna put it out there. Both times he's run against females, and one of them was a black woman. So were the odds ever in our favor if you didn't vote for him? No. In America, it just wasn't in your favor. And there's nothing we can do about it but live with the ramifications of that action, like things like January 6th, things like George Floyd, things like those guys who plunged into that girl up there in South Carolina, just killed somebody, and 47 got up and said, there's bad people on this side and bad people on that side. You got to stop and say sometime, man, something wrong. Shout out to my man Kevin Ross today. He said something today, and I'm segueing right into it. Letitia James, the 67th Attorney General of New York, been there since 2018, doing a great job. Man, she took the ball and rolled it at Trump and won something, and he got pissed off at her, and the rest is history. The lady had to resign. Boy, it's scary when people get power. And they muscle around with that power, man. It's scary. And before I get off the show tonight, I'm going to give you the alternatives to how that can be something you can circumvent around. It's a simple word, but a big word called entrepreneurship. Because everything that's going down with the government right now, every single thing that's going on with our government right now got ramifications to our pockets, got ramifications to our safety, got ramifications to our health care, got ramifications to our education. And I'm speaking truth to you right now. It shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't be that way. We've come a very long way. I'm a child of the Jim Crow 50s, and let me tell you something. Thank God that we're not living like we were living in the 50s, not even the 60s. Because even in the 60s, I still remember blacks eat over here, whites over here, go to the bathroom over here, go to the bathroom over there. I remember that. I remember working for a white man as a kid, as a teenager, and I jumped up in his truck one day, and I'll never, ever forget it. He said, boy, you know you don't get your ass up here in the front with me. And I would never forget that. I would never forget walking home as a black man, as a teenager, and somebody just stopped me, called the cops, and handled me in a manner that I would never forget. See, some things have not changed, and they're still going on in this country. And when we get the situations we got right now, boy, I can tell you some stories because of just who I am and what I look like. But I can also tell you some great stories about who I am and what I look like. I'm grateful for my 31 years as a teacher. I'm grateful as an entrepreneur. I'm grateful that I've been a band leader in this town for over 30 years and still doing it. I'm grateful I was able to author 2 books and go out and know that those will be intellectual properties for the rest of my life. And that segues me to what I'm going to talk to you about is on every Thursday night, I have something called the Get Activated Community. It's my Strive Masterclass. And I like to invite people to come out, get some alternatives to what we're going on right now. Because I'm going to talk to you about Letitia James and everything that's going on with us right now. But I want you to know something. You got to get ahead of the curve. And maybe you might need a little mentor. Maybe you might need someone to help you out with that. I love to be the one. I love to share my intellectual properties with you. Every Thursday night, it's called the Strive Masterclass. There's a link right there. All you got to do is click that link in the comments or go to my website, theactivator.net, click Get Activated Community, and I got you. Coming to a like-minded community with people who are just trying to take their lives to the next level. Because one thing that's absolute is this. I'll take you to the well, but you got to be thirsty for change. And on Thursday nights, we explore that. It's an opportunity for you to define yourself. It's an opportunity for you over there on IG to be honestly able to activate your true identity, your AI, your authentic identification, not artificial intelligence, no. Even though it's running everybody crazy right now. And I'm serious about it, though. Thursday nights, Strive Masterclass. Go to theactivator.net, click the link, get into the Get Activated community. Right there in the comments, I did put it in. There's a Stripe link there, and I'm running a summer special all the way through to the end of this year. I call it my 30, 60, 90-day campaign. I like for people to come out, give me 30, 60, 90 days, $50 a month, $150 of your life. That's all it is. And you got 30, 60, 90 days to reposition yourself. 30, 60, 90 days to re-identify where you're at, what you're doing with your life, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, what matters to your future. Because when we're going through the kind of, should I say, just fragile times we're going through right now, entrepreneurs blink right through this. If you own a rental property and you know somebody got to have somewhere to live, you'll always have income. And that property will appreciate and you'll always have equity. Every single human being on this planet should say they want to have a net worth of at least $1 million plus easily. If you just said that and go out and strive for that, you know something, because that same 1 million plus can become 5 million and it can become 10 million. But you got to start somewhere, and that's my job in the Strive Masterclass. Maybe you want to buy your first property. Maybe you want to write your first book. Maybe you want to just start your own business. Open your digital platform, your digital marketing. Open your new restaurant. Open your mechanic shop. Or you just want to become a personal development coach. You just want to become a speaker. All those things that I know I've done in my life become your intellectual properties because they're mine. And I like to share them with you. So Thursday nights, the Strive Masterclass, you'll come out and find out how. My son, shout out to my son, Jonathan. I've run 25 marathons. My son ran the Chicago Marathon the other day. I'm so proud of him, man. I cannot believe when he didn't want to even come to my high school cross-country team. I was a high school cross-country coach for 7 years over at Flanagan High School. And I made my son, Jonathan Griffith, get on the cross-country team. He hated it. He said, I'll never run like this again. And, man, last year he ran the New York City Marathon. I ran it 20 years ago. I'm 3 weeks away from my 71st birthday. I feel good. I think I look all right, but I'm having a good time because I believe in mind, body, and spirit. I believe in living in balance. I believe balance is success. I know that imbalance is organized chaos. My son was an example of that. He looked like an NBA player. He's 6'2", a solid 200. He ran the marathon in about 4.5 hours. Man, I was just so proud of him. And I think that Maru, that's about his third or his fourth marathon. And he didn't want to run again after he ran with me in high school. And the point I want to make to you is this. Maybe you want to run your first marathon. Maybe you want to have, one of these. But I want you to take my 30, 60, 90-day challenge. In 30 days, you can take an assessment of where you are versus where you want to be and how to get there. I call it remediation, retention, and recall. Remediate the weak areas, get the better retention of what you need to do, and get on out there and make it work. So let's go on to the business of what's going on tonight right now. I was talking about Letitia James right now, and you know something? I saw a brief little excerpt on her the other night. She said, I ain't scared of nobody, I ain't scared of no man. I know what all my ancestors been through. I know what everybody I could ever imagine have been through. And she said this, and I heard her say it with such conviction. I feel nothing to no one. I've been through enough. And I didn't do nothing wrong. So, boy, I'm going to leave that one right there. She resigned. They're trying to say she had some fraudulent activity around a rental property. She totally recorded that it was definitely supposed to be and is a rental property, but there was a different agenda. Somebody else pushed in, and that's why I said to you, man, she's speaking up because she can. She's been the Attorney General since 2018, was the Attorney General during the times that Trump took the first round up there as president, and a lot went down. So now somebody gets power and they push back. And boy, 47 been pushing back. He ain't going to stop either. That's all I can say. He ain't going to stop. A man told me it was my dentist. I'll never forget it. People get rich, they get famous, and then the third one is they want to get powerful. And I think my man is on the third ring right now. He's running it. He is absolutely running it without a shadow of doubt. I'm going to ease up the tension a little bit. Diane Keaton, 79 years old, passed away. And I can't call all the movies and all the accolades, and she definitely won an Academy Award, got an Oscar. But when you've seen all of the work that woman did, and then you meet her, she was on CBS This Morning the other day. Her legacy is just incredible. But you know what she said? I never thought I was special. I never thought about a legacy. All I wanted to do was live my life with passion. And I talk about it all the time. Passion, purpose, possibility. She said it too. If they just give me a chance and I can get one role and get in and make it happen, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to give my 110%. And shout out to Diane Keaton. She gave her 110%. Then somebody called her again, another 110%. They called her again, another 110%. I can't call all the movies that she's done. It's not even important. But what she did do is believe in herself. What she did do is say, against all odds, I know it's rough in Hollywood, but I think I can. Wow, what's his name? Oh man, I can't call the musicians, the Magic Man, his daughter Maru. I can't call the lady's name. Wow. She did all the Halloween movies and all of that. You know what I'm talking about. She's had the same, I can't call her name, but in other words, this lady just like Diane Keaton, man. Why can't I call that lady's name? I guess it's all kicking in on me. I can't call it. Tony something was her dad's name. I can't call her name. Wow. And I wanted to make her an example of this because she was just like Diane Keaton. She said, all I wanted to do is just be a good actor and make this happen. Diane Keaton never married anyone, but she adopted two beautiful kids. When you look at them in the pictures, you think she was their genetic parent. And I heard them talking about that on The View today. This other actress can't even seem to have a baby right now. And she was putting her business out there and everybody was talking all about her. But she said she didn't want to adopt a kid. She just wanted to have a genetic remembrance of herself that way. She wanted her genetic, legacy. But then Whoopi and all the girls said this, man, let me tell you something. Sonny was talking about it. Her nephew, who's an adopted kid. In my family, my wife's nephew, an adopted kid, they love him like you know, no different than the ones who are genetic. When they're getting love, you forget about all of that because unconditional love, unconditional acceptance is priceless. And shout out to you, Diane Keaton, at the age of 79. I know one of her most famous roles was in The Godfather. She was in she was with Steve Martin. She was with all kind of people. She did comedies, dramas, all kind of things, man. And she just said, I just like having fun. And she said, I still, every day I get a role, I'm always just in awe because I just love doing what I'm doing. I forget I get paid. Can you say that out there tonight? Are you in a profession right now where you feel like you're just showing up every day and you forget you get a paycheck every 2 weeks? Are you just on the bench about it though, knowing you need to maybe leave a job and go to something else? You know, my sessions tonight, yeah, it's all about people and what's going on around there. But like I said, it's all about also you. What can you do with your life to take your life to the next level? What can you do about your life to have your legacy? What can you do about your life to make sure you live in the P3 theory? And I'll still continue to invite you out. Every Thursday night, you're welcome to just go to the Get Activated community on the activator.net and come on in. And it's free whether you join my community or not. All you got to do is just DM the word Strive on Thursday nights on IG. That's all you got to do. Or if you go to my website, the link is right there every Thursday at 7 o'clock. So all I'm saying to you is this. On the entertainment side, once again, too, a lot of you probably don't know him. We call him D'Angelo. This R&B smooth crooning neo soul brother was so smooth. At the age of 51 years old, he's gone. The cancer monster got him. And I remember him, Brown Sugar. I mean, this guy's just so smooth, so cool. And everything he did was just silky, sexy. He said, I never wanted to be a sex symbol. He's very much an introvert. He likes to stay away from the camera. And I did know this, a little trivia for you. He and Angie Stone had a kid. She left us about 4 or 5 months ago in a car accident. They left a son here. Here he is now as we wake up today, no mommy and daddy. That's why I say every day, man, is a blessing above ground. You don't know when it'll be your last day. You truly don't. You truly, truly don't. Did you all see those floods in the Northeast this week? Just speaking about the weather conditions and geographically now, just shifting a little bit. Did you see the way those floods were almost like another tsunami that just went through up there in New Jersey area somewhere, just wiping out everything? You don't know when it's going to be your last day. You don't. I was watching the new episode of, what's it called, Watson, Maru? We were watching Watson. I just happened to have the TV on, looked up at Watson last night. Morris Chestnut, the boy is in the hood. Boy, look at here. I'm staying with this entertainment for a minute, but this is education also. Morris Chestnut is the bomb. I'm sorry. He's always been good at what he's doing, but right now he's taking TV, and they gave him a second season, and they came right out of the box on fire last night. Deep episode. His ex-wife, beautiful woman, was all about her mother. Her mother was making one of her favorite dishes. I don't remember what it was, but something happened and she licked something or did something. She fell out. They took her to the hospital. When she woke up, she didn't know who nobody was. Speaking of Alzheimer's right now, and this episode was so deep about it. It was so deep about it. It reminded you that in a blink, somebody could have that Alzheimer's kick in. She couldn't recognize her daughter. She didn't recognize him as her ex, her daughter's husband. I mean, her son, she just couldn't recognize nothing. But then it got so deep. She started reminiscing about her life before she even had a daughter. She had a kid, and she gave the kid up for adoption. And everybody thought she was losing her mind because she kept telling everyone she was pregnant. And to make a long story short of it all, it was a great, incredible episode about Alzheimer's, the impact on all of us, and how we should do our due diligence. We should do our research, because I hardly ever would want anyone to go through. I have family members and close friends right now. One of my wife's closest friend, husband, is dealing with that. And just the idea of it all is just critically critically scary. And that episode ended on such a positive note. It was TV. Yeah, it was all make-believe. But the way they ended it, this lady had a baby. She gave the baby up for adoption. She found out where the baby was when he became a man. She went to his bakery every day and bought something from him. He didn't know it, but she knew it. That was her son. And she needed this. She needed something given to her that nobody could give it to her unless it was a blood relative. Her daughter wanted to do it, but it might have killed her. But some kind of way, they found her son. I can't give you all the details on it. If you want to go back on, I don't know if it's Peacock or if it's Paramount or whoever you get streaming on, that episode about Alzheimer's is worth it because they said in America, 13 million people will be diagnosed with Alzheimer's. 13 million. And they're constantly doing research to see what can they do to eradicate it. So shout out to Morris Chestnut. Great episode, man. It was just really very informative about the ramification of Alzheimer's, how it impacts all of us, how it impacts families. I mean, and I guess the other component about adoption. And her son ended up giving up a part of his kidney to her, and it saved her life. And she came back and came out of it, and she recognized everybody. And she knew him. It was powerful, man. And you know something very powerful about it? There's no power greater than love. When you wake up and you see your kids, or you wake up and see your husband or see your wife, and kiss them and go off to work, man, just embrace that moment because it could be your last. It could be their last. 2 years ago this week, a week ago today, 2 years ago, 2,000 people over a 2-year period sitting at a concert in Israel, just enjoying themselves. And their lives never would be the same. Boom. A hostage comes home from that. 20 of them. He's one of them. His wife and his daughter's gone. My friends, that's why I say you want to max this baby out. You really, really want to max this out. You want to make the most of it. Functioning at your maximum potential should be non-negotiable. You should really, and you know, we're always in awe of the actors, the entertainers, the sports people, you know, but you know what, man, they're believe it or not, they're everyday people like us at one point. They weren't all superstars. Morris Chestnut was, but until the Boys in the Hood, and he got the opportunity, was just a kid in the hood, like that movie was about. Cuba Gooding and him, they were just people like you and I. But my point is this: when you decide to step out of the box, when you decide that there's something different I want to do in my life, there's something different I want to expect to do in my life right now. Boy, that's a game changer. So I want to segue again back to the conversation we were having about the entire Special Education Federation, federal government funding, all of them laid off. And there was a special segment on CNN today, and I didn't write that gentleman's names down, but yes, I did. I think I have it here. His name is Chad Rumel, and he is the Council for Exceptional Children's Executive Director. And he said this. He said 15% of the people in the education field have disabilities. That's 8 million kids that get up every day and go into the classrooms of this world. 15% of the total population of those being educated. And there's something, I remember this as a special needs teacher. Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, they call it IDEA, IDEA. I think it started back there with President Kennedy, if you don't want to hold me to that. I think they have someone in their family with special needs, and they wrote this law, PL 94142, for kids and adults with special needs. They will always have a right to what? A free education, a right to due process, a right to everything that anybody without disabilities already get. They should get them too. And right now, we're threatening all of that. Can you imagine 8 million kids waking up and not getting the services that they should? They have dismantled the special education component. They have laid off everybody in that office and threatening to take that office and merge it with health and human services. So I'm telling you right now, I always say when I have the GG perspective, talk to your local people, talk to your state people, talk to your federal people. You can only let your voice be heard that way. And if you're one of the ones who are 40% of the people in the United States of America who do not vote, shame on you, because you should, because your voice matters and your vote matters. We might not be in this predicament right now if we would exercise the right, those who don't, to vote for something or someone different than what we're dealing with right now, because we're dealing with some stuff right now. We're really dealing with some very fragile areas, some areas where I don't know what the end result is going to be. It's kind of scary. And a lot of people who are in the big house, who are up there going through all of this, are telling us it's not the end. This summer makes what, 6 months that has been a change of administration? 47 of them taking care of big business, man. They got their agenda. And the scary part of it all is this. I always say this too, man. I'm going to lean on this tonight. And it bothers me a lot in this country. Why should there be bias when it comes to wealth? Why should it be bias when it comes to people who are consumers of goods and services? Why should it be bias when it comes to people who pay taxes like anyone else, who get up and work a job like anyone else? And you don't understand. The blue-collar workers, the entry-level workers, they're the ones who are making this whole country work. They're working for somebody, but suppose they didn't go to work. And then all of a sudden, when they get to a certain age in life or a certain sector in life, and they're entitled to these benefits and these services, and all of a sudden you just want to eradicate those services. You just want to take them away from them because they're not, quote unquote, upper middle class or high class or wealthy or millionaires. No, man. Only 10% of this whole country got a lot of money. The rest of us are working class. And right now, we cannot come to grip with the reality that the Speaker of the House cannot seem to come to grips with the reality that you all are holding on to something that's not right, man. It's just not right. Why would you just take away the benefits from someone? And that's all it seems to me. Now, my education on this is this. There just seems to be this impasse. They can't come to terms because they want to take away the Obamacare. The Democrats say that's a non-negotiable. We can't give that up. So we're sitting on the bench now, 13 days into this. And it's scary, man. It's really, really, really scary. So all I can say to you, man, if you got a voice and you want to get out there and make some noise about it, scream loud at your congressman. Scream loud at your senators and your representatives, man. Scream at them. I can't stand Marjorie, what's her name, Green, whatever that lady is. I don't like to look at her. I'll tell you the honest truth. But boy, once again, when somebody do something and they turn and flip the script, I heard Whoopi Goldberg, and all I'm saying that today. I don't like her either, man, but you know something? She's doing something right because she's speaking up. She's saying that that's not right what the Republicans are doing in this country right now. It's not right. Why flex your power like that? That the people that you got to go and micromanage that all the way down, you're gonna trickle it all the way down to them. Your most faithful workers probably who are just glad to get their minimum wage checks and want one day to be able to, if they get sick or need something, they can just go to the hospital or they can have the care that they need. Come on, man. That's scary for all the people, not just the wealthy ones. Of course, everybody wants to be wealthy, but everybody's not going to be. And everybody in this country still has to cohabitate. So tonight, my show is all about what's going on with our government a lot, what's going on with this war situation, what's going on with these hostages, what's going on with the things around us that are just scary, scary, scary kind of things, man. And I think that at the end of the day, I don't know how to say this, man. When people flex their power like they do, like one other thing too, this is all political tonight. I think his name, what is it? Is it Hegseth, Pete Hegseth, Defense Secretary? They're telling me now that they're going to stop this freedom of the press and the freedom of the speech that most of the news reporters have had to just show up in DC or show up and have all kind of press conferences, show up and push in wherever they can to get stories and get information. They're now restricting the way that they get access to information from our government. I'm telling you, it's just crazy. I hope you're following me right now. They're saying that they want to just reject them coming over to the Pentagon and just going in and having these press releases with, well, I forgot the lady's name who's now the press secretary, for the president. They want to stop all of this. They want to stop them being able to just come in and scream at the government to get some answers. So all I say to you guys is that we are going through a real 360 with a lot of things in our country now. And I said it earlier and I'll continue to say it. Get your own piece of this pie. Go find your first property. Go write your first book. Go open your restaurant. Go get your mechanic shop. Become a professional speaker. Become something that go out there and render a service that somebody needs, because that's the only way you're going to stay ahead of the curve. I'm blessed to be retired. I give all glory to God. I'm blessed to be in a position where, if I don't get out of my bed, I know I'm still going to have something coming in my household. That's not that. The great majority of this country don't have that. They don't have that. And sir, our administration, all those, please, the Republicans, the Democrats, can somebody have mercy on the innocent bystanders? Can someone just have mercy right now if something were to happen to them? They can't afford to pay for their medical services. They need this. There got to be a compromise somewhere here. I mean, maybe something wrong with me. I don't know. It just, I don't know, man. It just bothers me. I taught special needs kids for 3 decades of my life. Kids who couldn't walk. Kids who couldn't talk. Kids who couldn't feed themselves, kids who couldn't even take themselves to the bathroom. All of them weren't like that, but a good 10, 15% of my kids were like that. Most of them just had cognitive deficits, and you would label them as learning disabled, or autistic, or Down syndrome, or emotionally handicapped. And some of them would have a multiplicity of these under one umbrella. They'd be EH and autistic, and they can't see and they can't speak. But you know something, man? If they cut those teachers' assistants, the impact to the special needs population is scary. Because I know, as an educator for 3 decades of that population, if I didn't have teacher assistants in my classroom with me, there would be no delivery of services. If we didn't have just a psychology department that just came in and dealt with our kids one-on-one, and they decided to cut their jobs out too, man, that's scary, man. Because one thing is absolute. A lot of the kids, when they show up to school, that is their safest haven. They're living in chaos at home. They're living in abuse at home. They're living in all kind of hidden obscurities that nobody knows unless they show up with a scar on them or a scar on the neck or black eye or something. And until then, they're hidden and they're going through chaos. They're being traumatized. And they come to school and they feel it's a safe place. What happens if they come now and it's a special needs kid and some of those services are just cut out? What happened if some of the job coaches who go out like I did for 6 years of my life and found jobs for our ESC kids, paid me pennies? It didn't matter to me. I just knew I was making a difference. I knew what it felt like when I found a job for a kid. And I say, Billy, man, I got you this job over at Dunkin' Donuts next week. Hey, Sally, I got your job at Marshall's. And then some of the places that would let them just come in and do things just to get training. The Marriott, BJ's. I mean, some of these great places that these people just gave them, and Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, these people were they were godsend. And then the private small business sectors who also hired them. And some of the big corporations like Publix. Some of my same special needs kids that I taught 20, 30 years ago are still working in Publix right now. Shout out to them. Please, Donald Trump and all those who do this, please sit down. Don't take away this special education sector, man. That's 8 million kids showing up without the services they need. Live up to that idea, the Individualized Education Act. Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, PL 94142. Please, please, man, let the legacy live. Let that, please, just go back in and let's do that all over again. Please go back in and do something about the Obamacare and keep it for people. Tonight was my night. If I could just have my platform like this, my episodes will be up until I decide to take them down. This has been a great night tonight. I think I covered everything I could imagine that made sense to me tonight. I don't see nothing here that I probably would have missed. Everything from, Hakeem, Mike Johnson, Mr. Jeffries, man. I hope you guys can work it out. Chuck Schumacher, I hope you guys can work it out. President Trump, I hope we can work it out. Not for me, not for you, but for them, for those who can't help themselves. They need us. They need the services. Trust me on that. And at the end of the day, and I always say this too, suppose it was you. I start with music. I'm going to end with music tonight. And I'm just going to say this to you, man. Come on out on Thursday nights. One more shout out. If you want to win a copy of my book, all you got to do is come into the Get Activated community. Thursday nights, 7 o'clock, the Strive Masterclass. Free copy of this book, or you get one of this one. So either one of these books would be your choice. Come on out. Get some personal empowerment. Get some personal development. Put yourself in a place where you know something. In order to be something you've never been, you got to do something you've never done. I think that's worth it repeating one more time before we shut it down tonight. In order to be something you've never been, you got to do something you've never done. And always remember this, my friends. Les Brown said it. Shoot for the moon, you'll land among the stars. Never forget this too. The only limitations that exist are the ones you place upon yourself. If you say I can, it's a sure shot that you won't. But if you say yes, I can. If you say yes, I will. If you say yes, I must, then you must trust the process. Believe in yourself. Know you're the captain of the ship. Live your life with a burning desire and a dream. Stay personally empowered with relentless enthusiasm. Stay fired up every day and keep your faith faculty activated. And above all things, live your life in gratitude. Set realistic goals. Let the genius come to play. And I'm going to tell you something. I call myself the activated for a reason. When you get fired up about something, when you get focused about something, and you live for what I call my P3 theory, man, sky's the limit. All the way up, baby. All the way up. That's all I can say to you. I'm Gregory Griffith. I call it the GG Factor. Tonight it was the Gregory Griffith Perspective. And you know what? I love you. And like my man George Wallace would say, and my minister, Dr. Reverend Marcus Davidson say, and there's nothing you can do about it. So to the next time, I want to say, see ya. Thank you, IG. Thank you over there on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for just being a part of this tonight. See ya.